Hi, my name is Frank, and this is a video response to Ed's What is Gundam to You? Gundam to me is a hobby. It was something that I grew up with, and I still find very interesting today. A little back history on how I got into Gundam, and this is more of a general inquiry into me being an anime fan. The first anime I ever watched, at least that I can remember, was the Macross Theory You Remember Love movie, and that was a VHS raw VHS copy that my brother got from a friend. And watching the Valkyries transform, at the time I was maybe, give or take, like 7 when I first watched it. So I didn't really have a concept of plot, story, and character development. I just watched it because it was damn cool to see the Valkyries transform. And come on, man, when you're a kid, that's all that matters to you, alright? But as I've gotten older, I've grown to appreciate the story and plot and character developments in anime in general. But Macross was the first, or I should say Macross the movie was the first anime that I watched as a kid, and that's what started my extreme fandom into anime. And Gundam is a very big part of it, because when I was younger, it was very difficult to find anime. Finding it, or finding what I could in the now defunct Hollywood Video and Blockbusters, was pretty much the only way I could get it, unless I had friends that were into it as much as I was, and they had copies that they had somehow obtained. The reason it was also harder back then was because it's not like it is now for you newer generations, where you can just find it on the internet. You just gotta search for it, and you don't even have to search very with much intent. It was very different when I was younger. Everything was fan dubbed, taped off of the actual Japanese TV broadcasting, and then fan dubbed, and then distributed through anime circles or clubs at colleges and high schools, and then those would get copied, and then it would be distributed copy through copy, and that is how we would get anime, or how we would get to watch anime straight from Japan. And we would have to wait literally months, 2, 3, 4 months after the broadcast dates, because that's how long it would take for the people to dub them, or not dub them, sub them, and for them to be mailed over here. And the first Gundam series I watched or got into was Gundam Wing, like everyone else. But I didn't watch it through Toonami. I watched it through the subs, the fan subs, through actual Japanese TV recorded broadcast recordings. So I probably saw them a few months after the actual airing dates, and this is probably 2 or 3 years before Toonami started airing them, because I believe Toonami started airing them in 97 or 98, and I was watching them a few months after the actual broadcast release. So I was watching them as they came out not as they came out, but a few months after they came out in 95. Wing was the first series I watched, and that really got me into Gundam. I liked the designs. I liked the fact that Hiro was a badass. He didn't answer to anybody. And then eventually, as I got older, I started watching some of the newer series, some of the such as MS-08 Team. And by the way, MS-08 Team is my favorite UC Gundam series. What else did I watch? I eventually got to X. what was that came after X? Oh, Turn A. I eventually watched Turn A. At the time I was watching these, I was not really into UC. I didn't even watch the original 1 Year War until like 2002 when it was airing on Toonami. And even now, I'm not as big on into UC as I am AC. But I can appreciate people like the UC designs and whatnot, because I do like the UC designs now. As I'm older and I'm looking back, the designs of the older generation Gundam series is picking up on me. You know, I didn't have a lot of support in my hobby as a anime fan, whether it was any anime in general. Not just necessarily Gundam, but I watch a lot of sci-fi anime. For example, some of the few that I did watch before I got into Gundam were Bubblegum Crisis and Bubblegum Crash, Gunbuster, as well as Pet Labor. Off the top of my head, those are the few that I can think of. And as you can tell, those are anime, or these are animes from the 80s. So I am of an older generation. And as a kid, I didn't really have very many friends that understood my passion for Japanese animation, or being an anime fan in general. I did have a few friends, but I didn't really keep in contact with them too much, and as we got older, they went to separate high schools, so I kind of lost contact and in touch with them. And growing up, my family didn't really quite understand my fascination for anime and building gunpla, so I didn't have a very strong support for my hobby. But nonetheless, you know, I grew up loving what I loved, working hard to earn the money that I earned to buy everything I have in my room. And everything that you've seen that I've taken in the beginning is 99% bought by me. There are a few stuff that my family bought for me, some figures or whatnot, but 99% of it is bought by my own hands and my own money. But, you know, take pride in the fact that you are an anime fan, a Gundam fan, a Macross fan, whatever it might be. And know that there are people out there that are just like you. It's not something to be ashamed of, and it's not something that you should hide. You know? Embrace it, be proud, and love it for what it is. That's what I've grown to understand, and that's what I've grown to learn. I love anime for what it is, and I love anime because it makes me happy. And if it makes you happy, then that's all that really matters to you. It's all that really should matter to you. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks, because you know what? They're the ones that don't understand what joy comes out of you doing things you love. So, you know, again, like I said, Gundam to me is a hobby, and it's something that kind of just sprouted from me being a anime fan. You know, I have more Gundam kits than I do other stuff, mainly because Gunpla is the biggest kit building community versus other kits, versus other Kotobukiya and Bandai kits. But Gunpla is not just what I build. I also build Macross kits, Kotobukiya kits, Wave. I even have resin kits that I need to work on. But the reason I build gunpla kits more than I do other stuff is because, one, it's easily available and easier to find, and it's a lot cheaper to buy these kits versus like a $200 resin. You know, a $50 master grade versus a $200 resin, or $200 Yamamoto Valkyrie. So, you know, my message to people out there, and Ed certainly has said it along with everybody else that has given a response and a video response. You know, be proud of who you are, be proud of what you are. Never be ashamed that you're a fan, never be ashamed that you love Gundam. And enjoy it for what it is. You know, enjoy it for the happiness that it brings you, enjoy it for the time that you enjoy building kits and whatnot. And, you know, leave the haters to hate. Because, you know what, they ain't gonna bother me. And they sure as damn hell ain't gonna bother or understand you. So